next I'm going to place my camera that I want to use to render the scene out. So first thing I'm going to do is create the camera, create camera's camera, and I'm going to get out of this perspective view. I'm going to change my panel here to this second camera, and I'll select my chair and I'll hit F in this viewport, and so that focuses my new camera on my chair so I know where I am in space. And we're looking at wireframe mode right now, so I'll change this to textured mode and hit 6 and change it to smooth shade and turn off the X-ray. And if you accidentally collapse these, you can just click on the little bar right there. So we want to turn off X-ray, we want to turn on smooth shading, and we want to turn on textured. So let's also turn on our resolution gate, because that's what the camera is actually looking through. And so I don't want to include this edge here, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I kind of want it to match the original perspective's position. So what I'm going to do is select this camera that I'm looking through by hitting Select Camera. I'm going to control click on perspective, so now I have both selected, and I'm going to go to Modify, Match Transformations, and Match All Transforms. So what that does is it snaps this camera to have all the same positional values as perspective camera. So now we're looking in the same spot. So what I want to do is I want to zoom this camera in a little bit. So I'm going to change the focal length here. This is in the attribute editor in the second tab. I'll change my focal length to, let's try 50. And let's push it a little bit more, because I just don't want to include these edges that are tiling. There we go, that's looking nice. So I also want to pivot my camera down, and I can do that in this view here. But I can also do it in this viewport by selecting my new camera, hitting F, and I can just rotate it by hitting E with the rotate tool. Now I can have a little more precision over my camera placement. So I like that. So our starting frame looks pretty much exactly like the original 2D image, except for the chair. But what we want to do is, so we can have that 3D parallax. So I'm going to select my camera, and I want to set a keyframe on the first frame. So on my first frame here, with your camera selected, just hit S, and that'll set a keyframe. See all these turn red in your channel box. That shows there's a keyframe there. And since I have auto keyframe turned on, that's right here, any adjustment I make to the camera from now on will automatically set a keyframe. So if I move it on frame 1, it'll replace the frame I just set. So I want to change it to frame 100, and this is where I want to put my second camera position. So what I want to do is zoom in on the chair, because that's the focus here, and if you're having a hard time with that, again, you can hit F, and I think I like this as my final frame. So if I select my camera again, you can see it automatically set a keyframe, but you can also hit S to make sure it's double set. Now if we scrub through the timeline, we will move through our scene a little bit. We got some cool parallaxing and 3D happening.